guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the track. That's right, the track has been used up by other events for the last month and a half and hasn't been open to the public for test and tune. Finally back testing and tuning, and of course we've still got the ZL1, so we got to come out here and see what we can do. In today's video we're gonna see just what a difference having the stock wheels on the car makes. Now, before we get to the video, guys, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to each and every one of you guys that support the channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys. We're 100 subscribers away from 7,000 subscribers. That is awesome. 7K, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. And so if you guys want to support the channel, actually make sure to check out the link in the description below for the merch store. We've got a couple, only about 5 or 4 more of these JLS Speed caps and a handful of these shirts. So get on the website, link in the description below. But anyways, back onto the car, guys. The ZL1, if you're new to the channel, has been amazing to us. It has ran a best of a 998, I believe, at 135, 136, but that was with a full drag pack. We had the skinnies, 18s in the front, beadlock 17s in the rear, and the seat out. Today we are basically in what you would consider street trim with the stock OEM wheels, and of course the full interior with the passenger seat in here. So a lot different, and to be honest, with these Nitto NT555R2s, they're great for rolls, not so great here at the track from a dig. So we're gonna have to be pedaling it slightly, but ultimately we'll see what we can do. The goal today is going to be to try to get a 10.5 out of this car as it sits. It's a lot warmer weather compared to our best 9.9s and low 10s that we've ran on this thing in the cool winter, but I think we can do it. A 10.5, trying to leave off the line as long as we don't spin or any of that. I think it's doable. And just a little recap, of course, this thing is really simple setup, guys. We've got the Rotofab cold air intake and Speed Engineering ceramic coated headers with Speed Engineering plug wires and E85 flex fuel sensor with our DSX low side aux pump. And of course, can't go without saying amazing tuning. Thanks to Brett over at Prey Performance. He's got these Gen 6 Camaros, both SS and ZL1s, down to the T, and this thing is no exception. By the way, this thing is for sale. If you guys are interested, let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram. And talking about Instagram, guys, PSA, my original Instagram got hacked. So if you have been following me on Instagram or have followed me before, go back, make sure you remove that account. That is no longer my account. I have created a new one under the same username, JL Speed underscore official. That is the original one. If yours says anything other than JL Speed underscore official, if it's got anything else, I believe the hacked account has JL Speed underscore Billy with like a bunch of underscores. So unfriend them, remove them, and go look for my link. It should be down in the description below. But yeah, go ahead, refollow me. If you've been messaging me on Instagram, I apologize for not responding back, but of course the account is hacked and I don't have access to it. So go down, follow me on Instagram so that you can ask me any questions you might have regarding the Gen 6 Camaro platform, because of course I've had the SS and now the ZL1. So the track is actually pretty empty, which is awesome. And so we're gonna go ahead and do our first run and just kind of see what the car will do. You know, it is really hot out here. It is in the mid 90s and the car is not that cooled down, but the track is pretty empty, which is pretty awesome, guys, which means we don't have to wait in long lines to go back and forth and keep trying. Again, we're right now, first run, we're just gonna see how the track prep is, whether we'll hook or not. We're gonna be running up against a good buddy of mine in his C7 Stingray. I believe he's got a blower on it, centrifugal. Runs really well, always see him out here. He's also on street tires, so it'll be a pretty good kind of comparison, and we'll see how this thing does. So we'll see if that burnout is good enough. Got a little bit of smoke. You don't want to heat these up too much, but we'll see just what this thing does. That actually hooked really well. I was very surprised about that. Oh my goodness. Woo. Alrighty guys, just got back from that first run, and man, I am super surprised with how well this thing stuck and went. Did a little bit of pedaling just for about 20% and then floored it, and this thing spun but was going forward, so it wasn't just sitting there. And if we look at the slip here, you'll see I'm on the left lane, a 165 60 foot 687 to the 8th at 104.8, so 105 miles an hour, and a 10.61 at 130.5. So we are right there, so close to that 10.5 goal of ours today. Time for run number 2. We're gonna go ahead and run our friend Mick in his C7 Pro Charged P1 on the same street tires. This time he's gonna be on the left lane and I'll be on the right lane. Alright guys, just got back from the second run, and let's just say we had a little technical difficulties trying to get this thing to go into stability control off for some reason, but on the way back it actually started working fine. So not really sure what was going on there. Thought maybe tire pressures could be the issue, but that wasn't the case. But anyways, car did a burnout. I feel like it might have been a little too long of a burnout or not enough, because it just, I blipped the throttle and just lit up the tire. And evident by the time here, put it on the screen, it did a really good reaction, a 1.6 to the reaction time, but a 1.97, almost 2 second 60 foot, and it went a 7.38 at 102, a little bit slower to the 8th, and then 11.1 at 130.7. So very much same mile an hour. And yeah, just goes to show how much of a difference spinning off the line and that basically like 3/10 slower 60 foot makes in the long run. We went from a 10.6 at a 1.6 60 foot to a 11.1 with a 1.9 almost 2 second 60 foot. There's a bunch of cool cars out here. We've got a lot of ZL1 surprisingly, so we'll go see what they're running and just enjoy the night. Seeing that there isn't that many cars out, guys, I'm gonna try something for you guys that normally I would not be able to do with so many people being here at Test and Tune, and that is we're gonna go ahead and try the factory launch control on this thing. Compare that to our best pass with it actually gripping. Now to get into the launch control, of course, you got to go into track mode and you got to do all kinds of things, put it in sport, competitive, traction. So that'll give you guys a big comparison. I know I get that question asked a lot. Does a launch control run slower than just completely turning all the traction control off? So we're gonna find out today. We don't use the launch control because it did not work one bit. So yeah, that was an embarrassment to say the least. Okay, so we're gonna just get right back into it. The tires are nice and warm. We won't let them cool down. The car is heat soaked already, so temperatures aren't gonna make a big of a difference, but let's go and show you guys what it worked by just completely shutting everything off and trying to get the best grip and launch using your skills as a driver. All right. Just a nice little glaze. Don't need to do too much. These tires got nice and heated already. And we'll see how it does in tour mode. Everything off, just like we like it. Crazy. I tried to pedal it, it didn't really work. Man, this thing is hot. But we just did 2 back-to-back runs. First one with launch control, doing the line lock and showing you guys how it does not work when you're in track mode and actually trying to stall the car and do a launch, because it's just, once you tune these things or do any kind of power adders, the traction control settings, the launch control slip settings are not adapted for that higher horsepower. So you're just going to end up spinning, as we saw. So if we look at our first pass with launch control, a 2/160 foot and a 12.2 at 128 miles an hour. 12.2, guys. This car hadn't ran a 12 since it was bone stock. Now let's go to the next run with everything completely off in tour mode, leaving off of idle like I always mention to everybody. This thing still spun and I had to pedal it, but
300 DX
check this out. Same lane, same everything. A 183 60 foot, which is still horrible, not good. If it is able to hook, we should be able to get into the 1.6 60 foots. And it did a 1088 at 130.8 or 131. So basically 3 more mile an hour and over a second faster by just completely everything off, putting it in tour and leaving off of idle. There you have it, guys. The proof is right there, back to back, all same variable, same lane. Do not use launch control once you start modifying the car, and even more, do not use launch control when you get drag radials on your cars. Oh, getting our final pass of the night, 156 for our manifold intake temps, guys. So yeah, as you can tell, it's gonna be heat soaked. So in a real world scenario, we would want to try to cool it down, do all that good stuff, put ice. But the more you do that, the less power, the more power you're gonna have. And obviously we're not hurting for power. We actually prefer this hot lapping so that we have a little more control off of the line. Is it gonna hurt us in the top end a little bit? Probably. Could we have gotten a little higher mile per hour? Probably, but still not bad. Good burnout. So again, don't want to be too crazy with the burnout, just enough that we get the tires heated up a little bit. Alrighty guys, there you have it. The last run for the ZL1, and of course the first gear just basically kind of spun, had to pedal it in and out for it to go through. And here is the time slip, pretty much identical to all the other ones. We got a 1081 60 foot, 105.71 in the 8th, and a 1087 at 131.3 is a mile an hour. So we finally got the mile an hour to get to 131. Unfortunately, the car put down a little too much power and just spun on that first gear. Maybe if we had like a second gear launch tune with the street tires, it might do pretty well. Who knows? Maybe we can try that in the future if we still have the car. But overall, I'm really happy with this thing. Came out here with the street tires and just had a blast. As you guys can see, the big difference here, drag pack not there, full weight, and completely heat soaked the whole time, and it ran and it ran a 10.6 is the best pass. So yeah, 10.6, 10.8 consistent. So drag packs make a big difference, guys. You cannot be stated as much. You need a drag pack if you want to run these cars consistently and overall have a good time with these. But even with the street tires, it still runs really good. Stock ZL1s are running about a second slower, and you know, 10 miles an hour. This thing doing amazing. Now, with that being said, I really hope you guys have been enjoying this video. We did a lot of stuff out there. I mean, we were able to compare and show you guys why you should not do launch control on these cars and just use your own skills. Show you guys what the ZL1 runs with the stock tires, just this configuration with intake headers and tune. I think it's pretty awesome and super good for a car that basically has very minimal bolt-ons. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and consider subscribing if you haven't. This thing is a beast, and if you guys are interested, it's for sale, $70,000. Come and get it, and you'll have an amazing super sleeper daily driver that can go out there and pretty much run with a lot of cars out here. So awesome night at the track, and hopefully we get to do a couple more of these before this car leaves. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.